What's up, my lovely people? Scott, the life artist, back with another video. I'm out here today, man, in frickin' my hometown Windsor on the beautiful Long Walk. And man, I just wanted to pick up and make a video and speak some shit. So what do I want to talk about today? I wanted to talk about being authentic, and that to be authentic is really discovering who you are and not comparing yourself with others. And that self-knowledge is the key. And that in order to gain that self-knowledge, you have to do two things. First thing is inquire about yourself. Whether it's spending time in meditation, talking to God, going to church, praying, whatever it is, finding that time, taking that time to essentially do yourself a favor and ask questions about how can I best live? Because that's what I had to do. Now, number two is wisdom gained through experience, meaning when you know what you don't want, it clarifies what you do want. An example of this would be, I don't know, going out to party. Maybe you've never done it before, you've heard good things about people doing it, so you go do it. And you have rock and roll time. And you realize, I like to do this. And then maybe you do the second time, you go to a different party, different music, and so, oh, that one was okay. Third time, and then after a while, what happens is you build up experience, which tells you what you like and don't like. And that's one of the masteries of maturing and getting older, is realizing who you are. That's why it took so long to get this beautiful defined face. Because essentially, you need time to define who you are, to find the sweet spots within you. And it does take time, man, but you must have the willingness to go, to know. Fairyland of wondering whether you like or dislike something is only really telling you one thing, not much at all. It's okay to ponder things, but to enable your self-love, to find out who you are, you must take action on something of what intrigues you to discover whether you like it or not. And then it's about tuning into that and doing that, or those activities, as much as you possibly can. Saying yes to you and saying no to not you. So those are the two things. Asking yourself directly, being honest with yourself, and don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself on what you believe is right for you. Like me, for example, I grew up, went to a school here in Windsor where it was sit down, it was very sterile, sit down, shut up, listen. And I have like a restless energy. And for me, I got it entrained to me to wait. But I don't wait, Scott doesn't wait. Doesn't mean I won't wait in a queue, but I'll always be doing something, whether it's pondering, reflecting, taking stock, observing, talking, listening. But there was a lot of dead space in my school, and so it brought me up to be a bit sterile and think that something is good for me, but it's not really good for me because it's not really me, right? Because that's the thing with sterility. And this town is full of it, sterility, but there's also a lot of beauty. But when you're sterile, you're doing stuff because you believe it's good for you or healthy, but you're bored stiff doing it. You feel dead inside. So you need the honesty, get into your solar plexus chakra, to be honest with life, the life within you, and say, I like to do this, I don't like to do that. I know this is true for me. This isn't who I am. And when you do that, you'll be much more agreeable with other people and their truths. Even if paradoxically they're very much in opposition to who you are on the surface. Like if someone's very cemented And they like to wait, they like to ponder, they like to sit on things. Less electric than me. It's kind of the opposite, right? Someone's very earnest, someone's very comedic. But the more you tune into who you are, lean into who you are, you'll be okay with truth because you'll accept authenticity in them because you honor it in yourself. So you honor it in them even if there's differences. Do you see what I'm getting at? That's the paradox game. But if you don't be yourself, you're sure as shit go around talking about others, whether it's in your mind or to others, about what's wrong with them, how they're not living beautifully, correctly, because you are not correct with yourself, because you're trying to be correct with other people, right? You're hanging on to beliefs which don't really belong to you. And before you know it, you'll be old, grow old, and be kind of lost, right? To be honest, just be kind of senile and not really know who you are anymore because you never really said yes to yourself enough. And that's perfectly fine, right? I believe we die and then we carry on and you get infinite rebirths, as many as you want, and come back being the same old human if you wish, because that's the grandness of God, that's the grandness of who you are. But in this game of separation or forgetfulness, you can have the opportunity to remember who you are. And when you do that, you'll be surprised at what you can do and how you can experience yourself and others. It's an amazing thing to choose yourself, right? Like another one would be like, let's give me examples of inherited beliefs would be, sexuality. People believing they're monogamous or believing they're this or that because it was inherited to them, it was passed down as the right thing to do. In your heart, in your guts, you know. Like for me, I know I'm not monogamous. Unless someone very intelligent came up with a very creative idea but convinced me that I'm wrong of myself, then I will be in open relationships with polyamory until the end of my days, until my last breath, because that's just who I am. I believe we're not really monogamous deep down. It's too primal, it's too natural, and it's too beautiful, to be honest. To not be shared effortlessly in the moment with others and trust in who you are when you're doing it. So that was something that was built into me, but it required a reforging of myself and a removal of what I was not. It required me to go, this doesn't feel quite right. Why do I feel depressed? Why do I feel down, right? Because I was behaving in a way that wasn't really in accord with my heart. So you must live, and you must listen to that screaming heart that says, I want to live, right? And when you do live, when you speed up, or slow down, depending on the perspective, but when you speed up, like for me, I like to speed up, I slow down, my mind calms. But if you're not living yourself, if you're not doing yourself, you will soon find out how depressed you are, and you will start to get worried and obnoxiously OCD about things that don't really matter, right? You ever wonder why people's health declines? They start to say, growing old, I can't do this anymore. Ask yourself a question, is that really true? Is that really true? Yes, you need to be young to do certain things, but guess what? When you do the things, you get young. It's a paradox, right? So look at those ideas, look at those excuses. Are they truly true? Like if your legs have been blown off, unfortunately some people have, right? It's war. The wars we have, or motorcycle accidents, is travesty, but someone's legs has been blown off. They don't have any legs anymore, and they can't walk, right? They would love to, but they can't, right? Maybe they can get the cyber leg things, wherever they are, and I'm sure there'll be more of that in the future, but they can't do that. I get that. That's not an excuse. That's an acceptance, right? Like me, for example, I'm never going to be the greatest guitar player. Maybe I will. I'm always open to radical things, but I doubt I will, because I just ain't got that gift, baby. But writing, speaking, I do have a gift. Maybe in being a top model. What do you think, man? Where's Versace? Reach out to me, please. But yeah, like that's a natural acceptance, right? Of I can't because, right? And God usually directs you in a direction where you don't actually need those things. In the example of the legs, look at a guy called Nick Vujicic. He's basically a cripple, or he was born a cripple. No legs, only a little stub for an arm, and he's amazing, man. Probably one of the most inspirational characters I've ever seen on the internet. I think he's Australian, Nick Vujicic, check him out. He's freaking throwing tennis balls with his damn teeth, catching it in his damn freaking mouth, doing massive presentations on stage, living in Dubai, he's doing great things. But he had to do him, right? But it's not, again, making excuses for your limitations of why you can't live, right? If you can't transform them, leave them alone and find something fun to do. But again, it requires that honesty of just, I can do this. I'm allowed to do this, right? And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at what you can do. And you'll sometimes be very surprised at what you can't do. But that's the beauty of becoming more defined, more you. So anyway, here I am in fucking beautiful Windsor. You guys should come down here, it's very beautiful. Especially in the summer, it's a bit cloudy today, but it's very, very lovely. And yeah, I love you guys. So wrap up with that, find yourself, be authentic, and I'll speak to you later. Ciao.